Let's solve a problem using Polya's 4-step strategy and one of the heuristics we have identified. Mr. Santos needs to put a fence around his square plant garden to keep stray animals from disturbing his plants. Each side of the fence is 12 meters long. The posts that hold the fencing need to be 2 meters apart. How many posts will Mr. Santos need? Now, the first stage in attempting to solve this problem is to understand the problem. That is, we need to answer these 3 questions. Now, pause this video and read the problem again carefully so we can answer the 3 questions here. Right, now after some thorough reading, we know that we want to determine the number of posts that Mr. Santos will need to put up the fence. Next, we are provided the following information. 1. The garden is a 12 by 12 meter square and the posts must be 2 meters apart. Now, the only unknown we are concerned with here is the number of posts required for the fencing. Now we need to formulate the plan. Since we are dealing with a 12 meter by 12 meter square and we know that the posts must be 2 meters apart, we have a situation that can be easily shown by drawing a picture. We can sketch a 12 by 12 square and plot points along all 4 sides such that these points are 2 meters apart. These points, of course, will represent our posts. Now let's execute our plan. We begin with a 12 by 12 square and plot our first point at the top right corner. Let's plot our next point 2 units away from this first point. Now, since the length of this side is 12 units, and we know that 2 is a factor of 12, we see that we can continue plotting points along this side until we plot a point at the other corner. It's basically like counting by 2 until we get to 12. Now, with this first pair of points, we can add another point, and after this point, we have already covered 4 meters of the total distance. The next point covers 6 meters. The next covers 8 meters. The next covers 10. And finally, the last point covers 12 meters, or the entire length of the side. Now, after completing the point plotting along one side, we can assume that this must be how points need to be plotted on the opposite side. So we can mirror these points on the other side, like this. Next, we do the same point plotting procedure along the unmarked side on the left. We see that the endpoints of that side already have points plotted on them. And so we only need to plot points between them, like so. Finally, we mirror these points again on the opposite side, like so. Now, counting all of these points, we see that we have 24 points in all. Remember, these points represent the posts that hold up the fence. Now we look back at our solution. We see that the distances between consecutive points along one side sum up to 12 units. And we see that this is also true for the rest of the sides. We conclude therefore that Mr. Santos, that is, needs 24 posts to put up the fence that encloses his 12 meter by 12 meter plant garden.